You know a lot about golf.
Well, we're waiting.
And we're back. We have survived Thanksgiving. We have survived Black Friday. We hope you can say the same. But if you're here listening right now, I guess the chances are pretty good that you have. We are those weekend golf guys. John Ashton in studio. Jeff Smith at the Golf Cave at Otter Creek in Columbus, the Plain and Simple Golf School. Thanksgiving okay?
Yeah, it was great. I'm wearing bigger pants. I'm happy.
That's it. How long do your leftovers last, man?
You know what? Not too long. That's the problem. That's why I'm wearing bigger pants.
We used to have, like, Thanksgiving dinner, and then there'd be a rehash of Thanksgiving dinner on Friday, and then turkey sandwiches on Saturday, and then maybe turkey omelets on Sunday or whatever. But now we've avoided all of that stuff. My wife, she makes the green bean casserole. I make the sweet potato casserole, and we go to somebody else's house. We mess up their house, and then we come home.
You know what I do? I make things go away.
by consuming them.
That's right. You know what I miss? It's Thanksgiving weekend. You know what I miss?
What?
I miss the Skins game. That's what I miss.
I do too, man. I do
want
too.
Freddie Couples on Thanksgiving Day. I want it on TV.
When our buddy Fuzzy played in that, man, he is one of the funniest guys. I mean, he's just a hoot to hang out with. In fact, we spent an inclement day at his golf course just up the street here in whatever little hamlet it is in Indiana where his covered bridge golf course is at. Wasn't raining in Louisville, but in Indiana. So anyhow, we were just sitting there drinking fuzzy vodka because he has his own brand of vodka, and we were drinking that, and he was there, and he saw us drinking it, and he bought. But man, he just entertained us for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, what a great thing.
And then suggested maybe we sleep a bit in the car before we try to go home. Okay, Fuzz.
Okay, Fuzz, I'll sleep it off in your parking lot.
But the man is just a hilarious guy. But I do miss that whole Skins game thing. That was good. So they just couldn't find any sponsors to pony up with all the money, or
apparently not. How about a great Skins game with like John Daly and Fuzzy Zeller and Fred Couples and Greg Norman.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that just be the greatest thing? Didn't Greg Norman just like kick everybody's teeth in for a handful of years on the Skins game?
I think so.
I think Couples did the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was like tied up for the first day, and then a second day they did, because he used to do it 9 and 9 on separate days, didn't they, in the afternoon?
Yeah.
And then they got to like the 14th hole on the second day, and Greg Norman, made a birdie and got like $437,000 or something.
Yeah, I think they need to replay that stuff. I think they need to replay the ones with Lee Trevino and Chichi Rodriguez and all the entertainment. That's just, I miss that. That's what I want on Thanksgiving weekend.
That's
I don't
right.
care about the Lions playing football or Dallas acting like they're trying to play football or whatever that is.
I know, man. Why do we have to be just assailed by losers left and right? With apologies to all of our audience in Dallas. But the Cowboys just don't got it this year, guys.
Yeah, same thing with the Detroit crowd. Sorry, folks. But it's the way it is.
It's the way it is. I mean, there are no Patriots. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's not go there. You know what? I don't know who sprayed Teflon all over that franchise, but nothing sticks to them.
See that meme going around? Again, nothing to do with golf. We'll get to it eventually, folk.
Maybe.
But they had a meme going around Facebook where it said, "Isn't it funny that the 3 best teams in the NFL are represented by big cats? There's Carolina, picture of a panther. Yeah. There's Cincinnati, picture of a Bengal tiger, and New England." And I went, "What?" Huh? And then I looked for a minute, and it was a picture of a cheetah.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, I took a little offense, but I don't care who you are. I mean, that's funny right there.
That's funny. That's funny right there. That's good stuff.
And the good thing is that when you are a Patriot fan, you can laugh at the haters, all right? You don't have to take it personally. There you go.
We don't necessarily hate it. Sometimes it's actually it's good to have a villain. And you know what? It used to be the Raiders, but they stink so bad that they're just not villainous.
Yeah, they can't come in anymore. No, not at all. Who's a villain in golf, man? They got one in golf?
I don't know. If it's anybody, it might be, I want to say Sergio.
Really?
Because he's such a whiner.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's hard because people like that guy, and there's a lot of great reasons to like him. I like him, but I think that's what it would be if there was such a villain in golf.
Yeah, there really is no golfer on the PGA Tour that people love to hate.
No, there isn't. But he's the one they love to heckle. Let that guy show up in a tournament in New York again. Remember Bethpage Black? The U.S. Open a few years ago? And he's sitting there. He's got that little twitch going on where he's re-gripping that thing 150 times, and they're out there counting it every time he does that.
It's like, while we're young, Sergio.
Yeah, I think that he might be the only guy that people would say that they love to at least pick on.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else. It used to be Colin Montgomery.
Yeah.
But Monty doesn't play on the PGA Tour anymore. He's up in the senior tour. And so.
Plus, he's mellowed, man.
Well, he has. I mean, he's certainly not a part of the Ryder Cup anymore. And that's always one of the things. So I guess you could look at, if you're the American contingent, you're looking at the European squad, and you got to look at Ian Poulter as being the guy that they love to rib a little bit now, along with Sergio. And so, but I don't think that he's a villainous character at all. I think that he's just the guy that they'll point at because he's so flamboyant in his zeal for his European team and in the Ryder Cup and making all those putts and screaming and pumping his fists and everything that if it was an American player, we'd be thinking he was the biggest hero in the world,
Right. Isn't it funny? It just depends on the color of your hat, how we feel about you.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, let me tell you who the USGA thinks the biggest villain in golf is.
Who's that?
You.
I am not.
Not you, but the collective you. I'm talking, as they say in the South, all y'all. And we will explain that when we come right back. We are those weekend golf guys. Don't you move.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
All right, I'm going to tell you something right now that you don't want to hear, but you're going to listen very close. You can spend $199, $299, $399. You could spend $1,050 on a new driver, and it's not going to help. Like I said, you don't want to hear that because you go, oh, my goodness, I just spent all this money. Now, a lesson? Now, that could help. But these drivers that are designed to give you more yardage and straighter, they're all designed for pros. They're designed so amateurs can use them, but they are designed for pros, for very good golfers, which most of us ain't. Maybe you don't want to hear that either. But here's what you can do. High heat drivers. Mark, our intrepid producer, uses one, has improved his game immensely. I use one. It's improved my game immensely. Even Jeff uses one. You can't get any better than it was. High heat. Go to knuthgolf.com and get one. Tell them you heard it from us, and you'll get $70 off with a money-back guarantee. Check it out, knuthgolf.com.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobetes is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobetes for about 3.5 to 4 months now. And in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 193.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking no BDs, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just one day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobides isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobides now. Call 800-553-0803 and get your free bottle. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-553-0803. That's 800-553-0803.
And we are here, those weekend golf guys. John Ashton in studio, Jeff Smith at the Golf Cave, playing Simple Golf School at Otter Creek in Columbus, and yeah, we're gonna get into great detail. I'm trying to calm down. Mentioned, of course, this new USGA rule that says you basically are a cheater and can't be trusted. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But there's some other rules. When we start talking about rules, there are some things that our normal group has kind of a running discussion / argument about, and that's and Jeff, you're a rule guy, so jump on in here. Your average foursome, you're going to find maybe 2, maybe 3 people on the green and 1 person on the fringe. And we all hang out and don't do anything until that guy on the fringe gets his ball on the green. But that's not the way to do it. It's the longest putt. If I'm 50 feet, like when Mark had his with his very good 45-foot birdie putt the other day.
It was an excellent putt.
Excellent putt.
It's a miracle that it doesn't happen more often.
But if a guy who is 20 feet but off the green, or let's say 20 feet off the green, Mark should have gone before this guy did. That was off the green.
Because the rule is basically who's farther from the hole, not what type of shot they have. But you even see that on the Pro Tour. There's a guy in the bunker right next to the green, and there's a guy 30 feet away.
Right.
That guy 30 feet away, he's waiting until that guy blasts out.
Yeah.
It's just it's becoming commonplace.
But it's not a rule.
Well, the etiquette of the game is where that falls. If you played out of order and you're in match play, there's a wonderful rule that says that the opponent could make you play it again. Mm-hmm. And they'll do it in match play if the guy hits one fantastic shot and he played out of turn. You're darn well sure that opponent is going to go, you played out of turn, you're going to have to play that again.
Yeah, that was a great shot.
That dude making that again.
Let's see if you can do it again.
Yeah, right. You get a shot at that. Right after I do this, you can have your real shot. So yeah, I give you practice one there. In stroke play, there really isn't a penalty for that. No. There's not even a slap on the wrist or a stink eye.
Well,
given.
You don't know the guys I play with. There's stink eyes given all the time for infractions much less important than that. And I now want to throw another thing out to you, okay? Mm-hmm. And this has happened to everybody. You're teeing up your ball.
Yes,
you're teeing up your ball. You're teeing up your ball, and it falls off. And one of the wise guys in your group goes, "That's one." You now have the official okie dokie from everybody to turn around and say, "No, it isn't. Shut up."
I was going to say, I thought you were going to just say slap him.
Well, you can do that too, unless he's much bigger than you. A ball that is touched and falls off the tee after it has been addressed counts as a stroke. No, it does not. A stroke is defined as the forward movement of the club with the intent to hit the ball. Intent is not a provable thing, but certainly it always makes sense when a guy just happens to set his club down and it happens to move forward, that there isn't any intent because he didn't even put his hands on it and take a backswing yet. That's how you can somewhat condone the bumping of the ball, because there's certainly no intent in that. Right, now
no one could possibly say that there's intent in that.
Here's another rule that's going to really probably impede a lot of great scores in your next scramble. I was totally unaware of this. You cannot intentionally stand on or close to an extension of the line of a putt during a stroke.
Okay, you're correct, but let's remember we're talking about scrambles in which golf rules really don't apply.
Yeah, talk to the winning team who shoots a 52.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and the USGA thinks I'm a cheater. Give me a break, people. And I don't see do those people just have no self-esteem or what? You walk in to the dinner after the scramble or the lunch or the awards ceremony, whatever you want to call it, and they read out, "Yes, the Ashton Group with a score of 52."
just got second place to the Smith group, who shot 51.
And everybody around you goes, 52. Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah.
26 under par. Okay, that means you birdied every hole except the par fives, which you eagled. Or maybe you had a couple of aces in there. Give me a break. You really expect me to believe that?
Yeah, but they're not under the rules of golf when they let you go, okay, you can, the general rules of scrambles are, hey, look, you're all going to play it from within a club length of each other, but don't change surfaces. Like if the best ball you choose to play is out of the rough, then all the balls got to be played out of the rough, but how many people really do? Right?
Oh, that's a rule.
Then, yeah, and then, we're selling mulligans today. Buy as many as you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or play, folks.
Yeah, or buy two.
Buy two and they
use 8.
Yeah, because nobody else knows how many you bought. But they give you this little candy.
But I'm not
to say this is how many we got.
Because
of course,
going to count a mulligan. I'm not going to count a mulligan if it didn't work.
That's right.
All right.
Taking the mulligan. Oh, it gave me the same result as the one before. I missed the putt again. So that's not our mulligan. That's
and here's another rule that I don't think many of us know about is a lot of people say you can't have a ball marked unless it's on the green if it interferes with your ball, your stance, or your swing, which is incorrect. If I'm hitting and I'm, 1 foot behind intrepid producer Mark, but his ball is in my stance, I can say, Mark that ball, please. Because you have to say please to Mark, or he looks at you and says, do it yourself, you lazy son. But if you're nice to him, he does that for you. The only thing is, Mark, you can't clean the ball once you pick it up unless it's on the green, which is a stupid rule.
You're all over the USGA today, like white on rice, aren't you? Stupid rule.
They have delivered my soapbox. I will be standing upon it and delivering and pontificating and just testifying when we come right back. We are those weekend golf guys powered by Golf Talk America, although they too may disown me after this next diatribe. We'll be right back. Every other week, we send you great tidbits, including a weekend tune-up from Jeff Smith, a quick video that'll get you doing something absolutely right on the golf course. Just go to thoseweekendgolfguys.com/newsletter and sign up.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobetes is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobetes for about 3.5 to 4 months now. And in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobetes, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just 1 day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobetes isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobetes now. Call 800-553-0803 and get your free bottle. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-553-0803. That's 800-553-0803.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
Jeff, you've seen me miss.
Yeah.
Good news is I didn't 3-putt but one green my last round, but I'm still missing by an inch or two left or right. Man, I need some help. What do you got? Teach me, buddy.
I'll tell you what. The first thing that I do with all my clinics when we're working on putting, I break out the putting stroke teacher every single time. We put this thing on. Their forearms are lined up. Their putter face is lined up in the same place. It's the straightest putt you'll ever hit. It's unbelievable. And then I'll teach you how to aim after that. But you go get it. The Putting Stroke Teacher, tpsteacher.com. Go get one. Cheap and effective.
I like
Gotta
that.
love it.
Cheap and effective.
You're not kidding. This thing is absolutely one of the best things I've ever seen.
And it's easy to understand?
Absolutely. Strap it onto your putter and go.
Don't need
Real
you
simple.
standing over me to tell me how to use it.
No, you don't want me barking at you anyway. Just
Open up
get
the
it.
box.
tpsteacher.com.
Make it work. tpsteacher.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-554-4183 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-554-4183 to take your call now. Call 800-554-4183. That's 800-554-4183. Again, 800-554-4183.
And we're back. Thanks for hanging. We are those weekend golf guys. John Ashton in studio, and of course Jeff Smith at the Plain and Simple Golf School, the Golf Cave at Otter Creek in Columbus. And I mentioned the fact we were talking about the biggest villain in golf, and we couldn't come up with one, with the exception of the USGA's new edict, which makes me think that they think that it is us.
Come on.
No, have you seen this new?
I did.
I'm going to call them out on this because this is, well, it ticks me off.
They
really
changed
does.
the handicap system.
They made a new rule for the handicap system, and if you have not yet heard, this is what is ticking me off. Any round you play alone does not count toward your handicap. Now, this is a game where everyone extols the virtues of honesty. Excuse me,
Integrity.
I'm getting choked up about this. Integrity, exactly.
Yeah.
We call penalties on ourselves. We know the rules and we follow them to a T.
You know what's even funnier about that? They have this wonderful video out, the USGA does, about the etiquette of the game and the spirit of the game.
Yeah, and we do all of this, and we do it religiously. We do it every time we're on the course, unless we're alone. At which point we turn into a lying, cheating, thieving
Villain. Apparently, we're the villain, right? Isn't that what you're saying?
Cannot be trusted unless we're being watched while we're out playing golf. Give me a break. Do you know how badly you have offended 26 million people? Okay, maybe 25.5 million, because I'm sure there's 500,000 who are lying, cheating, thieving. But they shouldn't ruin it for the rest of us.
So really they're saying that the score that you post when you play alone is no longer going to be able to be counted toward your handicap. But if you're playing with somebody else who can verify what you shot, then it counts.
That's exactly what they're saying. Because you're a cheater, but the guys you play with aren't. Yeah.
It also means that when you finally have your great round, because there are no distractions and you're completely at peace, that good round you played also doesn't count.
Right.
Which is okay, because that one right there never gets believed anyway. Your buddies, you go in, hey, I went out last night and I played by myself, had a great time. Everything was clicking. And I shot 75. And you know what your buddy always says?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Okay. You got some swampland to sell me too. You know, so that round doesn't get to count either, does it?
Well,
which stinks.
But you
which
know it
completely
counts.
Stinks.
You
That's
know
right.
it counts.
You know it counts, but that completely stinks.
It does stink. It does stink.
To have it so that here's a guy, a dyed-in-the-wool rule follower and overall golfer that is just trying to get better all the time. And that guy just gets slapped with the "you're not honest" penalty, as in the USGA doesn't believe you. That round never will no longer qualify in our system because obviously it wasn't verifiable.
Because you cannot be trusted.
Or you just don't have any friends. One way or another, you got issues.
Yeah.
When that doesn't count toward your handicap.
Yeah.
But this is a game of honor. This is a game of virtue. This is a game of honesty, but not in that case.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
really, they're doing it because of the people who just turn in a score, that seems to be a little higher than their usual to help raise that handicap a little bit. Maybe that happens a little too often. Who knows?
I was going to ask that of you. In my thought process, I figured, what do you care how low I try to get my handicap? Having a higher handicap is the only thing that's going to be a positive effect on me, and that's only if I compete in USGA-sanctioned handicap net score tournaments.
Right.
And if I do that, then having a higher handicap would be of a great benefit if I could come in with, let's say, a 12 and shoot 3 under for the round.
I've met guys like that. And we all hear stories about guys like that. And I've actually played golf with a guy like that. I was a club professional for many years. I was at a private club just outside of Charlotte and one of the guys that I played with at this club, he was and he carried an 11. But yet this guy, he was more under control of his golf ball and was a better player than 90% of the 5 handicaps that I've played with.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was absolutely knew exactly what was going to happen. He would still manipulate his score on the golf course is what he did. He would do it every round. But yet, while doing it, he looks like a professional. He looks like a very low handicap golfer. He is very much under control of his flight, his distance, his putts. He's controlling every part of it better than most.
So like he misses putts on purpose?
Well, there was a lot of things that he did. Let me give you an example. Now, he didn't do in the round that I played with him that he built up his score. Let's say it that way.
Okay.
He did not do it by playing great golf for 15 holes and then realizing his position and then started to make some triple bogeys. He did not do that.
Okay.
He did not intentionally miss 2-foot putts. He did not do that. What he did do, though, however, is that every shot throughout the golf course that was under control, he deliberately chose a club that would put him in dire straits. For example, on the 3rd hole, it's a par 3 over water. He purposefully chose a club that was perfectly struck, well on line, no wind. He flushed it, and it came up 2 clubs short and plunked into the water. Nice double bogey on the 3rd hole.
Okay.
And here we are on the 7th hole, and it's a nice par 4. And this 7th hole has out of bounds right over the green. And he flushes one down the middle and flushes one right over the flag, and he chose 2 clubs too many, and it flew over the green, landed on the backside of the green, and went out of bounds. Double bogey. You see my point?
I got you.
He's doing this throughout the round of golf, but yet he's completely under control of every bit of what's going on.
And unless you were a golf pro who could understand how well he was playing by watching him play, even though the shots weren't going where they should have gone, then you wouldn't have known.
Exactly. Taking shaving a stroke here or there by not aiming at the hole on an easy bunker shot and aiming, 10 feet away and then leaving yourself a 10-footer as opposed to a 2-footer.
Right.
Right. On a dogleg right par 4 that's out of bounds, to choose a club that would go right over the trees but hit it low enough that it couldn't and then sail out of bounds or bounce out of bounds is another example. And I watched him do that. And so here's a guy who effectively told the truth on the scorecard and told the truth at the handicap computer, but he lied on the golf course.
Yeah, he's still cheating. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the guys that the USGA is always trying to crack down on, right? Because they have tournaments that are, all over the country that are big deals where people go and they play in these large tournaments. Oldsmobile Scramble used to be one of them, now a defunct tournament. I think John Deere had a big Scramble tournament. And there are other ones that people use handicaps. And they go to these national events. You go through this stage where you go through your state, and then you go to your region, and you win that, and you finally go to the national thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, those were also riddled with people with false handicaps because people would do exactly what this guy was doing, is they would manufacture their handicap. And it would be legitimate because that is what they shot. and they did put it in the handicap computer. So they're trying to do some of those things like in this ruling where they're saying, hey, not by yourself, because nobody really saw how you came up with that score. Whether
the next thing you know is they're going to insist on having a caddy with a video camera at all times to have a verifiable handicap. Hey, listen, that's just one of the things that that makes us mad. We shall return. We're going to get in a better mood. It's a holiday season after all. Ho, ho, ho. Be right back. Don't you move.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-554-4183 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-554-4183 to take your call now. Call 800-554-4183. That's 800-554-4183. Again, 800-554-4183.
Hey, Jeff, I got to come to you, man. I need some help. Out playing golf last weekend, 4 of us, at least 2 of them, outdrove me on a regular occasion.
To pick up your club head speed, I have found these training aids that are just the world's best thing I've ever seen. Super Speed Golf has some training aid sticks, and they've got this beautiful training program that goes with them that you can get online. My clients have picked up a lot of club head speed and a lot of distance in a relatively short period of time. I'm more impressed with this than I am with anything else that I've ever seen on the market to make people swing their club faster. And we all know that's what, one of the big factors in producing distance.
That's right. Faster equals longer. That's what I'm looking for, man. Longer.
That's right.
By being faster. Super Speed. What's the website? Where do I go? Superspeedgolf.com. Go to superspeedgolf.com. Pick up some of these sticks. Go through their training program. It is eye-popping how much distance you'll pick up.
They just told us right away that we're going to house you, we're going to feed you, and every single one of his medical bills is just all taken care of.
They've saved my family from financial ruin. It allowed me and my wife both to focus on the most important thing, which was the health and well-being of our son.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes. And that's what makes St. Jude so magical.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything's being taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
And welcome back, those Weekend Golf Guys, right here in studio. I am John Ashton, and of course, Jeff Smith at the Golf Cave at Otter Creek, the Plain and Simple Golf School. And the rest of us are going to just go on up to, Mineola, New York, and talk to Kirk Uguri from Pete's Custom Clubs. Kirk, how are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for having me. My pleasure to be on. So looking forward to chatting a little bit about equipment.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun. Now, you have been recognized as one of the best club fitters in the world.
That's right. I told you an award. You can pay me later.
Yeah.
No?
We've got the plaque all ready for you, Kirk.
Awesome.
Put it on your wall, and your rates can go up.
That's a
immensely.
Good idea. You know what? He could get we could do some promotion for him so he doesn't have to self-promote. That's a great idea.
Yeah. It's called advertising. It's what we do, Jeff. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Sorry, I forgot about that.
But Kirk, I am going to come at you as what I am, is just a pure amateur weekend, maybe twice a week, now that I can actually make it tax-deductible golfer, okay?
Mm-hmm.
when I go out to my local club I usually play at, and I'm going to mention a brand name because they do it more often than anybody else as far as I've seen, but the Ping truck is there, okay? And the Ping truck is going to have a demo day, and they're going to fit me for irons. And they go through that whole rigmarole they go through, and they say, hey, you're a red dot. Well, have I been fitted for clubs, or is that a marketing ploy?
I think they stick one on your chest. I think that's what they did. I think that's a targeting thing, John. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
So to talk about the fitting with the lie angle, that's all that is. It's a color coding system that Ping really was the company who really came out with it and systemized it, only because it was a simple way for people, instead of remembering a numerical number, instead of a number of what the lie angle is, they just made it simple, just a color. Okay. Now, they go through originally a static fitting, which entails the size of the club. That's the length of the golf club relative to your wrist, the distance from your wrist to the floor and your height. So they go through just a general static fitting, and then they'll go through a dynamic, which has to do with you hitting golf shots, and then they will go through their analysis and come up with a color code for a specific lie angle for the golfer.
And that's all I need, or is when you go to a guy like you, Kirk, is it much more involved?
Well, I'll explain it this way. We have many types of fittings that we offer for different clientele. We can cater from anyone from your beginner golfer that has never played and we're just trying to give them some equipment to help them learn how to play, and we could also accommodate the elite players. So it depends on, obviously, when the person comes in, the customer comes in, we would start an evaluation, just who they are, what they're looking for, how can we help them. And then we will take it in different directions to try to help that specific golfer.
Okay. And again, coming to you as the rank amateur, how do I know if my clubs don't fit me?
Boy, that's a good question, because either you obviously cannot hit the golf ball well. It can be purely a talent issue, or that you're a novice. But a lot of times when the equipment does not fit the golfer, what you'll notice is that they struggle dynamically. Either they have to make a really compensatory movement, or you notice, and as an instructor, I think having an eye for what I'd like to see with a golfer, you can see if the equipment is ill-fit, if it's too heavy, if it's too long, too short, if there's something going on to where a shaft maybe is too stiff or too weak, etc. So it really is up to the experience of the professional or the fitter to be able to evaluate that person. But to answer it in a way where, how can the amateur know if it's good or not? I don't think they have a very good idea of it. I mean, just to be honest.
Hey, John, did you notice how smoothly he mentioned that it could be a talent issue? Did you notice he mentioned that to you? He hasn't even met you yet, and he already knows.
Well, he's been talking to you, and obviously you're telling tales out of school, man.
I don't know if it's out of school or not.
Okay, Jeff, you've seen me play. Do my clubs fit me?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. I've been a club fitter for, 15 years now. Do I do it anywhere near to the level that Kirk and his guys there at Pete's do it? Oh, no, definitely not. I've got a couple fitting systems, and they're just don't offer the same number of shafts or the same number of heads, and so I'm limited. I can deal with an awful lot of people, but I'm very limited. And the guys who have all of the tools, and then they have a specific business like Pete's does, that's all they do. Mm-hmm. Those are the people who get it right every time.
Okay.
They've got a system where anybody can walk in there, and they come out as better golfers, because, as Kirk knows, Kirk, I want you to talk about this a little bit too. If you've got some poorly fitted equipment, man, you're going to struggle. You're going to make compensation moves in your golf swing just to see what's going on. And I know Kirk sees that an awful lot, because I spend more time teaching than I do club fitting, and he spends an awful lot of time fitting clubs.
Right.
And, I know that that's a big issue for people. Kirk, when you see somebody as a teacher, and you see somebody that you know the equipment is a bigger factor and would change somebody's golf swing, how do you go about telling them that?
Well, I would be very fair in the assessment. If I have a client that I know that they have long-term goals and they're coming to me to work on their games, and I have their trust, I will slowly let them know about the effect of the equipment. Now, of course, it has to do with where I'd like to take them also in the swing. But things like maybe the grip size, the overall weight of the golf club, the type of golf club they're playing, I will address that immediately. I probably won't get too deep into, wow, you are just not playing the best quality shaft or anything like that. That's really later on. That's not a necessity right away. I would definitely think about the size of the club, the weight of the golf club, and the type of club. I would immediately, maybe not during the first lesson, but most probably in the first few. I definitely will address that because there are enough golfers that come in to see me for either instruction or for fitting that I know that I can get them to be able to swing the golf clubs to match what we'd want to do with their golf swing much better and help their games. Is that fair?
Yeah, that pretty well hits a lot of things. John, as a regular guy, how do you see? Because Kirk and I view the world a little differently.
Yeah, you have rather jaundiced approaches. Yes, you do.
Yeah, because we are in this business, and that we fit and we teach, and so our brains are geared toward getting it right all the time.
Mm-hmm.
How about the average guy? Do you feel like when the average guy is just going to go off the racket because of price, or get it off some online place just because of price? You think he's thinking of that before he's thinking of could this be right for me?
Of course. I mean, you've been shopping with your spouse, right?
Yeah, unfortunately I have. Yeah.
So let me just put it out there, okay? Especially if a spouse that does not play golf. Okay, I'm going to walk into a golf shop, whether it be Big Box or Greengrass Pro Shop or whatever, and I am going to look at clubs, and I am going to look at the aesthetics. I'm going to pick them up and swing them a little bit and see what feels good. I, of course, am going to be persuaded one way or the other by the stuff I've read in the magazines or seen the ads on TV or heard on the radio or whatever.
Yes, because we know that stuff's really accurate.
Exactly. But then I'm going to have this other person with me, or maybe not with me physically, but will be in my head, who will say, "You paid how much?" And I'm going to say, "Yeah, hon, but it's going to let me play better." I don't care. You paid how much? Okay, that's the way the conversation's going to go. And I can agree with Kirk and with your opinion all I want to. Yeah, if it has a better shaft and it fits me better and I actually take the time and the money to have somebody who's an expert work with me on it, my game is going to be so much better. This voice in my head and this person I have to answer to at home doesn't give a crap about that. all I'm going to hear is, "You paid how much?" Okay.
So
that's where we're at, buddy.
That's one of those factors that you deal with. As far as when you go buy equipment, you're probably not. Your first instinct isn't to go get it custom fit.
No, it's not. No, and see, but I can relate on the other hand, because if I go to buy a microphone, okay, and I have a microphone that I can spend $80 on, or I have a microphone that I can spend $400 on, and I buy the $400 one, I will buy it for one reason, because it's going to make me sound better. And my wife...
Probably because you know how to speak.
Well,
so since you know how to speak reasonably well, you can see the performance difference.
Right, plus my wife understands that too. So she understands that the $400 for the microphone is going to be better for me, but then this is kind of like a career, not a thing I do on Saturdays. So she goes, "Well, I can understand that. I wish microphones were cheaper." But with golf clubs, it's, "You paid how much?" And that's where we're at. We've got a lot more to talk about with Kirk Uguri from Pete's Custom Clubs in Mineola, New York. And we will be right back. We are those weekend golf guys. We're powered by Golf Talk America. And we're having some fun. Hang out with us. Don't go away. You check out our Facebook page yet? It's facebook.com/golf guys. Go there and like us, please. We need the affirmation.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-554-4183 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-554-4183 to take your call now. Call 800-554-4183. That's 800-554-4183. Again, 800-554-4183.
Jeff, you've seen me miss.
Yeah.
Good news is I didn't 3-putt but one green my last round, but I'm still missing by an inch or two left or right. Man, I need some help. What do you got? Teach me, buddy.
You know, I'll tell you what. The first thing that I do with all my clinics when we're working on putting, I break out the putting stroke teacher every single time. We put this thing on. Their forearms are lined up. Their putter face is lined up in the same place. It's the straightest putt you'll ever hit. It's unbelievable. And then I'll teach you how to aim after that. But you go get it. The Putting Stroke Teacher, tpsteacher.com. Go get one. Cheap and effective.
I like
Gotta
that.
love it.
Cheap and effective.
You're not kidding. This thing is absolutely one of the best things I've ever seen.
And it's easy to understand?
Absolutely. Strap it onto your putter and go.
Don't need
Real
you
simple.
standing over me to tell me how to use it.
No, you don't want me barking at you anyway. Just
Open up
get
the
it.
box.
tpsteacher.com.
Make it work. tpsteacher.com. And we're back. John Ashton in studio. Jeff Smith at the Golf Cave. Kirk Uguri from Pete's Custom Clubs, one of the recognized top club fitters in the nation, is with us here, and we're talking about getting your clubs fit. And Kirk, I think you may agree with me on this. I have often said, and will bear repeating since people are beginning the Christmas shopping season, do not buy a golf club for someone else as a gift.
But it is still better than buying a sweater with a golfer on it.
Yes, you got that right.
That's right. Because the wrong club can be fixed or exchanged.
Yes,
the sweater you're stuck with.
You're right. Get a left-handed. Still better than that sweater.
Right. Because you know what's going to happen with that sweater, Kirk, is that the person who got it for you is going to insist that you do wear it.
And another question, Kirk, I got for you as an amateur again, okay? How good do I have to be to get custom clubs fitted or get clubs custom fitted, whatever I'll throw the words out there. You put them in the order in which they work, okay?
That actually probably is the most intriguing question that we get often. The reason is we know that one thing is a fact. Less than 10% of golfers get fit for equipment. And the largest percentage of people, the reason why they say they don't get fit is because they don't feel like their game is good enough to get fit. Mm-hmm. So it's a very, very common thing. So, now you did mention about budget. Budget is a big thing. Luckily, with our business model, because we are a high-end custom club fitting facility, we do deal with people that tend to be doing pretty well in this New York area. Mm-hmm. But I would definitely say that besides the budget, it's that most people ask, hey, does it make any difference to my game? I am an average 90s to 100 golfer. In my opinion, getting fit for equipment is actually more important for that golfer because they're not as talented to make up for poor equipment. So if it is the wrong size, it's the wrong weight, it's the wrong type of golf club, it just doesn't match up for them, they're going to play a lot poorer than a better skill golfer. Because I can give Jeff over there the wrong equipment, meaning something's off, it's heavy, whatever. He can probably still get it around because he's got a lot less loft.
Right.
And the main thing is when you have loft, and we know what that means, it's a lot more difficult to compensate. So hopefully that answers it. So I understand the budget part. Boy, I don't think it's worth it for my game. But I really have seen more changes to people's games and a bigger jump and more improvement from golfers who actually are not as skilled.
All right, and also coming to you not only as an amateur golfer, but as a huge cynic. I go into a retail outlet, even a big box retail outlet where they say they are fitting me. That's part of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I still, in the back of my head, the suspicion that, these clubs they're fitting me with, that's what they have the most of in the warehouse.
But you're not going to go try to get fit for a suit at Walmart, are you?
No. No, sir.
Right.
Let's hope
basically
not.
what you're saying is let me go to this big warehouse that stocks up in tons of equipment that they have to sell. That's their business model.
Yeah.
Now, what are they going to do? They're going to go through what, quote-unquote, a club fitting, which basically means I have these many clubs on the shelf. What can I fit you into that I have?
Right.
And that's the majority of what they're selling.
On an average, if I want to get fitted, do I come in empty-handed and say, okay, fit me with and then build me a set of clubs, or do I come in with a set of clubs and say, fit me and adjust these, or how does it work and how much should I expect to pay for that normally?
Usually, let's say you're a golfer, you play, you have clubs. We definitely suggest that you come in with your equipment.
Okay.
The reason is the equipment that we're fitting you for does not outperform your clubs. Why get it?
Exactly.
So if a few of your clubs in there, if your irons are good, and all it needs maybe is a slight tweak to it. Maybe it's a little lie angle change if we can bend your existing clubs, or we just need to do something, shorten them, put some weight on it, change your grips, whatever. All we're trying to do is make sure that we try to get the best possible equipment for the value also that the person can play. So there are people that come in and go, listen, I just want brand new clubs. I want to get fit soup to nuts. We can do that. Some people come in and say, hey, can you just check if my equipment's good for me? We'll do that also. And a lot of times, people come in, they will pay for time, of course. It's just like a golf lesson or instruction. But they may walk out with the same clubs, maybe a little tweak here and there. I think that's the reason why Pete and Woody, who are the co-owners who've been fitting for over 30 years here, the reason they built a trust with the community here and the area and in the business is because they're honest guys, and that's why I really enjoy being a part of it. We try to help out every golfer out there. It's not based on, we have to sell the most expensive equipment. That's not what it's about.
I know we only have a few minutes left, but I want to touch on a couple of things that I think that our listening audience probably needs to understand about equipment. Could you go through, some things that, they read in magazines, they hear all the time, hey, we want high launch, we want low spin. What are you going to do if you've got a guy who walks in and he just spent $500-600 on this brand new, somewhat white-headed, somewhat of that head driver, and he walks in and he can't hit it at all, and you go, oh, okay. What are you looking at right away?
Golf instruction. I'm totally serious.
How are you going to make adjustments to a guy's piece of equipment when you know he might take your instruction or he might never practice it?
Right. So obviously those are two different types of club fittings. One is trying to lead the person to improvement by helping them with their game. If they're not open to that, they're just here, hey, I only play 5 times a year. I play with my boss. I play in golf outings. I just want to be able to hit this driver better. Well, the things that we'll have to do is just go based on our experience and understanding the golfer, their movements, dynamically what they do, and we have to just look at the equipment and say, hey, this is the type of club or this is the type of spec that I believe will help you play the best as is, the way you swing. A lot of times it's very common for the lesser skilled players, we do shorten the drivers. We will go through a dynamic fitting. Even though they may not be able to repeat their ball flight, they still do repeat their golf swing. Does that make sense? that make sense, guys?
Makes sense to me, yeah.
They still have a pattern. You know what I'm saying? So they got a pattern. It just doesn't produce repeatable results. But we will fit for the way the golfer is swinging and the way that they move and their patterns. We might move weights around. We might change the settings on it. Very rarely will I actually fit shaft to change ball flight. And that's a very common thing out there right now is you want to hit it high, use a high launching shaft. You want to hit it low, use a low launching shaft. That's not how it works. It's supposed to help the golfer transmit their movement from the body through their hands to the club head. And it's really just more of a movement issue, not a ball flight.
But, a lot of guys don't buy that. And they'll tell you, we're putting these super light shafts in them because, we're going to get your ball up in the air. And, they believe that the shaft is the number one thing. And you and I both know as golf professionals and golf instructors, the number one thing is the actual person swinging the thing.
Well, guys, one of the things that most of us would like to believe is that technology can overcome ability or lack thereof. However, we know it's not true. So we're going to just, bottom line, guys, is you can go to a guy like Kirk Uguri and you can get fitted and have the clubs work with you perfectly, but unless you know what you're doing, it ain't going to help. You think that's an encapsulation of the last 20 minutes together, guys?
Could be. I think there's a lot of conversations out there that are specific to people that need to stay specific to people, because I think it's tough to generalize.
Kirk, have you ever had a client come in and say, listen, you don't need me, man. Go take a lesson, then come back?
Well, something, what's common over here is, being the golf instructor, the PGA professional here, when we have clients come in for fittings and they're struggling to hit the ball, and let's say the other fitters or myself, we're not able to really get them into the equipment because they want to buy. They've got the money. They want to get equipment. And we just can't get the right clubs in their hands because their swing patterns are just too... for lack of a better word, obscene or excessively poor.
Erratic. We like erratic.
John, you've just found out why he's a good friend of mine. There it is.
We will do our best to suggest that, hey, let's improve your motion. Let's improve how you deliver that club to the ball, because if we do, the type of clubs that are going to go in your hands are going to be totally different, and you're going to be a much happier golfer playing the game. So why not let's improve a little bit just to get you to be able to hit the ball better, so that now when we are fitting you for the equipment and put it in your hand, it's for the long term.
So the answer to my question is yes, you just say it so much better than I did.
You did, as a matter of fact.
Kirk Uguri from Peach Custom Clubs in Mineola, New York. Thanks for spending some time with us here on those Weekend Golf Guys. We got to thank you, too, for hanging with us here. Hope you enjoyed another hour together. We'll be back next week, same place, same time. In the interim, catch us at thoseweekendgolfguys.com. You can always like us on Facebook at facebook.com/golfguys. Follow us on Twitter at WKND Golf Guys. And if you missed any of the show or any of our shows, you can always just go to the website and you can download anything from the archives. And there's been some darn good stuff. And
don't forget the apps.
Oh, yeah. Download our free apps, both from the Apple or the Android store, Google Play Store, iTunes. You can get it and listen to us anytime you want to. I have covered everything. Go play some golf. Hopefully you can. We will talk to you next week. Bye.
See ya.